The words of the late lamented Giovanni Falcone on the subject of fear have really made an imprint on me. He used to say, I say this for the listeners, the important thing is not to establish whether one is afraid or not. It's to be able to live with one's fear, not to be conditioned by it. That's what courage is. Otherwise, it's no longer courage, but recklessness. Now, beyond what may seem like a compromise, I live with fear, I make friends with it. Do you need to have the right tools to do this kind of thing that the good Giovanni Falcone said? But the tool, you spoke of a great reference point of our life, of my life, precisely because I work as an anti-mafia journalist. Too big word, but I don't have another. And so, I know magistrates who have taken Falcone's legacy perfectly and risked their lives as he did. The elements are values, ethic, ideals. There are people like Giovanni Falcone today in the institutions, particularly in the judiciary, who are, for me, the embodiment of ethics. And that embodiment of ethics, when a character, in this case we have named Falcone, therefore a man of the institution who is true, not corrupt, not only honest, but embodies ethics. In philosophy, the embodiment of ethics means that the idea is no longer carried by a person. That ideal is the person. That is to say, ethics becomes talking, moving, eating, laughing, joking. So in those very rare cases in the history of mankind, when ethics is embodied, that is, when the best weapon for overcoming fear is precisely that. So the person who embodies ethics is not a person who becomes Superman with superpowers. He remains a man. But ethics, in philosophy, in theology, the Holy Spirit taking body in that person, are the same thing. It depends on your point of view. If you are a layman, you call it ethics. If you are a man of faith, you call it the Holy Spirit. Nothing changes. Nothing changes in concept. So when the Holy Spirit touches a man or ethics is embodied in a man, that man lives those values on a daily basis and thus overcomes his fears. Otherwise, he will never make it. The teaching, our highest point of reference, with all due respect to Giovanni Falcone, we have before him Jesus Christ, who then Falcone imitates in the supreme sacrifice of his life, also Borsellino and many others, is when Christ, thanks to the incarnation of the Holy Spirit, for us believers, Christ incarnated the Messiah, therefore the Son of God, therefore the Holy Spirit. Only at that moment when Christ realized, he focuses on himself and lives the incarnation of Christ in him, does he get up and say, let's go, and overcomes fear. This happened in an obviously subliminal and spiritual form, in a lesser form, but in my opinion, with all respect now for Jesus, in the same way with his emulators. Falcone gives his life, so he overcomes Gethsemane, because he knows what it represents, namely the embodiment of ethics, and overcomes fear. We must do this in our own small way. We are neither Falcone, not Jesus, not Borsellino, not the holy martyrs. We are men who seek to imitate them, and so we must conquer our fears. Where, in my opinion, at least I speak for me, it's not that I'm so important that I risk being killed by like Jesus, Falcone, Borsellino, but I do risk being hindered, treated badly, and therefore I must conquer the fear that if I am truly the incarnation of what I say I am, that must win over fear, that is, the weapon.